بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيد الأنبياء والمرسلين نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. قال الله تعالى في كتابه المجيد الفرقان الحميد بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قال له صاحبه وهو يحاوره أكفرت بالذي خلقك من تراب ثم من نطفة ثم سواك رجلا لكنه هو الله ربي ولا أشرك بربي أحدا صدق الله العظيم. So we continue with the conversation, with the discussion of the companions, the associates, the partners, or the brothers, as some of the Tafsir mentioned. And the first one said, as we had spoken about in the previous weeks, after they've been gifted with such beautiful gardens and rivers and plantations and palms and whatnot, he says, you know what? I don't think this Qiyamah is real, and I don't believe that this Allah is actually in control. And let's say he is, I have firm assumption that if I've been given this good in this life, I'm going to be given even better in the hereafter. So his partner responds, as we had said he would begin. His partner, his brother says, قَالَ لَهُ, says to him, صاحبه, his brother, his companion, his partner. أَكَفَرْتَ بِالَّذِي خَلَقَكَ مِنْ تُرَابٍ. And this istifham is for istifham, pose a question. للتوبيخ. This is a question for rebuke, a question for admonishment, a question to scold. أكفرت بالذي خلقك من تراب? Are you denying the one who created you from dirt? Because Adam alayhi salam was created from dirt. So by way of that, each of us has some association to the dirt. أكفرت بالذي خلقك من تراب? Are you denying? Are you denying? Are you saying it doesn't exist? The one who created you from dirt? ثم سواك أكفرت بالذي خلقك من تراب ثم من نطفة. Then after, forget that you yourself are created from that drop of liquid and sperm. ثم سواك رجلا. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala fashioned you into man. يا أيها الإنسان ما غرك بربك الكريم الذي خلقك فسواك فعدلك. What this is such a beautiful ayah. ما غرك بربك الكريم. Oh insan, what is deluding you and what is taking you away from your Lord? The one who created you and fashioned you and then put you and formed you into this beautiful being that you are today. And it happens, the dad, he takes his son to the orthodontics. So now his son, he has crooked teeth. So he pays an arm and a leg so that the son can get braces. And now the son has straight teeth and whitening and cleaning. And you know how expensive the dentist can be. And the cosmetics may be fixed and the aesthetics may be fixed. But then that child says, with that very same mouth, with those very same teeth, Dad, you did nothing for me. You can fix the teeth, but you can't fix the speech. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, I fashioned him, I formed him, I gave him all these blessings, I gave him all these faculties. Then he comes back and he says, you didn't do anything for me. ثم سواك رجلا. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala fashioned you and formed you. And I'm just having this flash. So I was having a conversation, it's pretty funny. So I was having this conversation with somebody, and I was telling him, we were having on whatever topic. And after I had the conversation, he came to me a few days later and he said, you know what? Even though you're young, but you gave me a deeper look, like I didn't think about it the way you were thinking about it. And I was like, oh wow, like way to boost my ego. And he tells me, Luqman, you're like Luqman, like he was giving, wisdom and and I was like, okay, keep going, like now you're really praising me. So then I told him, but the problem is Luqman, he was given wisdom, but there was something he was not given. What was Luqman Islam not given? Okay, besides that, I'm not a Luqman Islam was very ugly. He was not a good looking person. So a person came to Luqman, he said, Luqman, like, why are you so ugly? So he said, are you criticizing the pattern or are you criticizing the one who made the pattern? Because Allah is the one who created. Are you criticizing the pattern or are you criticizing the one who made the pattern? So I told the guy, like, yeah, I have the wisdom of Luqman, but I'm also a handsome guy. Don't do me like that. I'm a good looking. So he says, أَكَفَرْتَ بِالَّذِي خَلَقَكَ مِن تُرَابٍ. You're denying in the 14th juz, in the 16th chapter, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, He's the one خَلَقَكَ مِن نُطْفَةٍ إِذَا هُوَ خَصِيمٌ مُبِينٌ. He created you from that nutfah, إِذَا الْفُجَائِيَّة. Then suddenly man becomes so argumentative. And now he wants to talk back. And we see it with our own kids. We raise them from a young age. And as soon as they can get any faculties, the first thing they want to do, oh, let's talk back to my dad. Let me tell you, Dad, you're wrong. فإذا هو خصيم مبين. Suddenly, man, he just wants to become argumentative. He just wants to talk back. In Surah Yasin, وَضَرَبَ لَنَا مَثَلًا وَنَسِيَ خَلْقَهُ قَالَ مَنْ يُحْيِي الْعِظَامَ وَهِيَ رَمِيمٌ. There was a person by the name of As bin Wa'il. As bin Wa'il. So he came to the Prophet ﷺ and he dropped some bones. He says, أَتَزْعُمُ أَنَّ رَبَّكَ يُحْيِي هَذَا وَهِيَ رَمِيمٌ. Are you saying that your Lord is going to bring this back to life and it's decomposed bones? ضَرَبَ لَنَا مَثَلًا وَنَسِيَ خَلْقَهُ. He presents the example to us and he forgets creation. ونسي خلقه قال من يحيي العظام وهي رميم. He says, oh, who's going to bring this back to life? Who's going to bring these decomposed back? قال من يحيي العظام وهي رميم قل يحييها الذي أنشأها أول مرة. The one who created it the first time, he'll create it the second time. And then هو بكل خلق عليم. He is most knowledgeable with every form of creation. Meaning when it was to be created from nothing, who did it? Allah did it. When it was to be, when it dies and then it needs to be brought back from something, who knows how to do that? It is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala who knows how to do that. فَمَا خَلْقُكُمْ وَلَا بَعْثُكُمْ إِلَّا كَنَفْسٍ وَاحِدَةٍ. This is easy to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He says, my buddy, أَكُفَرْتَ بِالَّذِي خَلَقَكِ مِن تُرَابٍ. And man, you're blatant, man. You're brazen. You're arrogant. ثم من نطفة ثم سواك رجلا لكنه هو الله ربي ولا أشرك بربي أحدا. لكن, and because of ta'leel, it's actually لكن أنا. As for me, هو الله ربي. I will testify that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is my Lord. لكن I will say, لكن هو الله ربي ولا أشرك بربي أحدا. I don't associate, I don't put any partners, I don't ascribe with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala anything. No, me, I'm on the right path. ولا أشرك بربي أحدا. ولولا إذ دخلت جنتك قلت ما شاء الله. Now let me give you some advice. My brother, next time, when you enter your garden, when you enter your home, when you enter your new Mercedes Benz, when you put on that fresh jacket, when you're looking, whatever it may be, قلت ما شاء الله لا قوة إلا بالله. Why don't you say that as Allah wish, that is what happened? MashaAllah. Whatever Allah wish, that is what will occur. لا قوة إلا بالله. There is no might, there is no power, there is no strength except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this is the dua when you see anything, العين حق, to remove that evil eye, this is the dua. ما شاء الله لا قوة إلا بالله. And you don't realize, so there's a guy, he has a new car, and he pulls up to the masjid. And you can tell that Yusuf is looking at him like, wow, what a car, like, sheesh, like, I need that car. Obviously, you can tell that this guy, he's putting some ayn. You can see it from the way he's looking at the car. But another person, he's looking at it innocently. He's looking at it innocently. There's no envy, there's no hasad, there's no jealousy. But because he didn't use the right words, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will still put the ayn there. Because he didn't attribute the blessing to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala inadvertently, innocently, that can happen. That can happen. It happens. So that's why Prophet ﷺ said, when you see something, then attribute to Allah Mubarak. Allah put blessing. MashaAllah la quwwata illa billah. This is the words when you see anything nice that your brother has been given. Because you can put ayn, someone else can put ayn on you, and you could put ayn on yourself. You could put ayn on yourself. And it was the Quraysh of Makkah who would try to look at the Prophet ﷺ with glances like this. And this is in the Quran. They would try to put glances at the Prophet ﷺ. Obviously, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protected his Prophet ﷺ. He says, مَا شَاءَ اللَّهُ لَا قُوَّةَ إِلَّا بِاللَّهِ. And then he gives them very, so far it's been a little bit polite. He's been polite in his statement. But now he becomes very bold and now he puts some emphasis on his words. إِن تَرَنِي أَنَا أَقَلَّ مِنْكَ مَالًا وَوَلَدًا. And furthermore, let me tell you, if you perceive me, if ترني, you perceive أنا, that I am أنا أقل منك مالا وولدا. I am less than you in terms of money and children. If you think me to be less, if you think me to be less, then let me be clear right now that asa, it is very possible, it is very close and perchance, and I'm telling you, be careful, because the day will come, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give me a garden better than your garden. It's gonna خيرا من جنتك, better than your garden. My Lord will give me that garden. Whether it's not in this life, it will be in the hereafter. So I'm just warning you now that it's very close. It's very close. Perchance my Lord will give me something better than that. And not that's not all. خيرا من جنتك. Oh, what's gonna happen? يرسل علينا حسبانا من السماء فتصبح صعيدا زلقا. Or a thunderbolt, a fire, a calamity from the sky will afflict these gardens. And then what will happen? فَتُصْبِحَ صَعِيدًا زَلَقًا. Then if zalaqa means slippery, meaning that nothing is growing, it's barren, there's nothing there, it's ruined, it's demolished. When these gardens become demolished, nothing there. You're so bold today, but how many times did we see that those who were incarcerated and put into prison in the decades prior today are leading countries. And similarly, those who are leading countries, who were leading countries years ago, today they're incarcerated. That's how the world works. It keeps revolving. فَتُصْبِحَ صَعِيدًا زَلَقًا. So today you have money, but you never know what's going to happen tomorrow. You never know what's going to happen tomorrow. And so, the pious, they don't just speak futile. It's not that they're just speaking and there's no wisdom to what they're saying. When they say something, it has profound effect. It has profound impact. I'm reminded of the hadith in Bukhari. Sa'ad bin Abi Waqas, radiallahu anh, one of the Ashar Mubashir bil Jannah. Those 10 people who were given black tidings of Jannah in one gathering. That's the important detail in one gathering. Because there were other companions who were given glad tidings of Jannah outside of the gathering. But 10 in one. One was Sa'd bin Abi Waqqas radiallahu anhu. To make a long story short, Umar radiallahu anhu appointed him as the governor of Kufa. And these people of Kufa, they were, if you open up any hadith book, and it comes to, and they go through the chains of narration, when it says, oh, like such and so, and Kufi, then they'll always have some comment on it. Oh, those Kufi guys, we don't like those guys. We don't really, la yasma'u al-hadith minhu. We don't take hadith from those people. So the Kufans, they would always have some complaint against the governor. Like, he does this, he does that, he does this, he does that. Blah, blah, blah. So Umar said, okay, let me put the pinnacle. This is the uncle of the Prophet. ﷺ. Let me put Sa'd bin Abi Waqqas, one of the close companions of the Prophet. ﷺ. You can't put a claim against this guy. And when you read the commentary of this narration, it's so beautiful how they write. They tell you, when you have an imam, or you have the president of the masjid, or you have the household family member, he's giving his best shot, he's doing what he can, but you just can't help it. At some point, people they're gonna complain. That's how life works. Rani comes for Fajr, he says, you know what? It's Friday morning. Let me follow the Sunnah of the Prophet. ﷺ. He starts Alif Lam Mim, and then he starts reading Surah Sajda. The second rakah, Hal Ata Ala Al-Insan, enjoying his recitation in the back. And Yusuf's like, man, this guy's reading so long, man. I'm trying to go back to sleep. He's like, Balani, next time, cut it short. And you're like, okay. He comes back the next day, Saturday morning, he's leading Fajr. He starts, you know what, let's cut it short. Sabbih Hisma Hal Ata. That someone, Yusuf, he was sleeping because he thought, oh, Fajr is going to be so long. He came 10 minutes late. He comes in, he finds Fajr is done. Ronnie, why was Fajr so quick? They're always going to complain. That's how life works. So Sa'd bin Abu Waqqas, he said, man, we put him in charge. فَشَكَوْا أَهْلُ الْكُوفَةِ. So the people began to complain. So Umar radiallahu anh having that stern eye, فَعَزَلَهُ Umar. Umar said, you know what? Let's remove him for some time. Let's give him temporary suspension. He says, you know what? One of the things they complained to him about, they said your salah was incorrect. He says, أُصَلِّ بِالنَّاسِ كَمَا رَأَيْتُ رَسُولَ اللَّهِ صلى الله عليه وسلم يُصَلِّي. I lead the salah like I saw the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم lead the salah. I make the first two long, وَأُخَفِّفْ أُخْرَيَيْن, and the last two I make them short. So he says, you know what? هكذا ظنوا, like هكذا ظنيات. Like this is what I was thinking about you. I had only good thoughts. But nevertheless, they sent a delegation of men with Sa'd bin Abi Waqqas to the people of Kufa. And they went from masjid to masjid, masjid to masjid. This was your previous governor. ما رأيك عنه? ما رأيكم عنه? What's your opinion about this guy? What do you guys have to say about this guy? What do you guys have? And each one was good. Each one was good. Each one. They said, oh, we have nothing to say. Nothing bad to say. Nothing bad to say. And they come to this masjid at the time of Asr. The hadith is in Bukhari. They come to this masjid at the time of Asr. There is an imam by the name of Usama. Usama. And he says, you know what? Now that you guys have been asking, I wasn't going to say anything, but now that you guys are asking, I have to tell you my opinion about him. He's not a very good man. He doesn't go out with us in the expeditions. He's not just with the spoils of war. And he lists these complaints and he's going on and on. And Sa'd bin Abi Waqqas is listening to him hurl these blatant accusations against him that have no foundation. He's listening to this, and as he finishes, he raises his hands. He says, Allah, like Allah is my witness. If what this guy said is true, Allah, you know best. If what he says is false, then give him a long life. And don't give him a life where he's blessed in that life. Give him a long life filled with poverty and misery. And this is Sa'd bin Abi Waqqas radiallahu anhu. The narrator of that hadith the narrator is a companion and then the tabi'i, the one who follows him. He says, فَرَأَيْتُ هَذَا الرَّجُلَ I saw this man and he was so old. His eyelids began to droop over his eyes. That's how old he was. His eyelids were drooping over his eyes. And you would still find him even at that old age. He would be running around, walking around the markets looking for like chasing females and this and doing provocative stuff. And as he would walk, the people would say, yes, بسبب دعاء سعد بن أبي وقاص. This guy's only going through this life because of the dua of Sa'd bin Abi Waqqas radiallahu anhu. The pious, be careful, be careful. They don't just say something, they don't just say it like it's not that they're just, oh, we're just talking, we're just speaking. Everything is profound, it's impactful. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala listens to their dua. The Prophet says in the hadith that there are such people so close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that they don't take an oath, they don't take a qasam, except that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala makes it come true. It wasn't going to come true before, but now it's going to. Bilal radiallahu anhu came to wake up the Prophet. He says, Ya Rasulullah, the Fajr time has come in. Rasulullah said, no, it hasn't. He comes back a few minutes later. Ya Rasulullah, Fajr time has come in. He said, no, it hasn't. He continues sleeping in the masjid. Third time, he says, Ya Rasulullah, wallahi, by Qasam, by Allah, Fajr time has come in. Rasulullah said, Bilal, the first time you said it, it had not come. The second time you said it, it still wasn't Fajr time. The third time you said it, it still wasn't Fajr time. But because you took Allah's name, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala brought the sun early today. This is the pious. Well, you have to be careful. So the pious are not just speaking in like just for fun. He says, watch out, be careful. Oh, يصبح صعيدا زلقا. Oh, يصبح ماؤها غورا. غار يغور غورا, to sink, to be, it dries up. Or watch out, now this water is gonna dry up. And then you have, when water dries, then you have Grand Canyon. So it's a deep thing with nothing inside. It's just empty. Watch out because all of this will just dry up. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says it at the end of Surah Mulk that the water will dry up. So what will you do? Where will you bring it? فَمَيَّأْتُكُم بِمَاءٍ مَعِينٍ. Where will you bring the water then? So in Jalalain it writes that one of the disbelievers, he says, oh, we'll use some buckets and we'll use some now we have uh, this what's it called? No, 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 the tractor and we'll dig and we have all of these advancements and don't worry, we'll dig. But he didn't say this. فذهب ماء عينه فعمي. فذهب ماء عينه فعمي. Not as soon as he said this, the water in his eyes dried up and he became blind. Oh, you think you're so powerful now? You're gonna dig up the water and this and that. What about the water in your eyes? Bring that back. Come on, use your advancements, bring it back. So this guy says, be careful. Today you have, tomorrow you might not have. But as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He gives us understanding and tawfiq. And He embeds us in humility and He removes all types of pride from our hearts. اللهم اهدنا فيمن هديت وعافنا فيمن عافيت وتولنا فيمن توليت وبارك لنا فيما أعطيت وقنا واصرف عنا شر ما قضيت إنك تقضي ولا يقضى عليك إنه لا يعز من عليك ولا يذل من واليت تبارك ربنا وتعاليت نستغفرك ربنا ونتوب إليك اللهم اهدنا واهد بنا واهد الناس جميعا واجعلنا سببا لمن اهتدى اللهم تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وعلينا يا مولانا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم اللهم طهر قلوبنا من النفاق اللهم طهر قلوبنا من الكبر اللهم طهر أعمالنا من النفاق اللهم آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب القبر والنار اللهم إنا نسألك الجنة اللهم إنا نعوذ بك من عذاب القبر وعذاب الحشر وعذاب الدين واحشرنا يوم القيامة مع الأبرار اللهم أجرنا من النار اللهم أجرنا من النار اللهم أجرنا من النار آمين يا رب. We can now consider 6 o'clock starting on Inshallah, Monday, Fajr Salah will be 6 o'clock. Monday, Fajr Salah will be